Hello and welcome back, everyone, to the Lebanon Valley College Twitch channel. We are here today with LVC Rainbow Six taking on Purdue Fort Wayne. And as you can see in the this side, the top left corner, my right, you can see we decided to add a little countdown up here so we can come on a bit earlier, kind of discuss what's going to happen. Instead of having to do it all the second before the game starts, we have it all right here a bit earlier on, and you guys can still see the countdown for how long we have until the game is about to start. Just came up with that like 5 minutes ago, so hopefully it looks good, and if not, then of course there's always the chat. You can always say something about it, but of course that's not what we're here for. What we are here for is LVC Rainbow Six. They will be taking on Purdue Fort Wayne today, and this is in NACE competition, the NACE Varsity East 4 Conference. So there's not a whole lot to go off of, at least off of this Purdue team, or the PFW team. They just don't really have any matches played. Last week they had a forfeit loss. They forfeited against LSU Shreveport, so really not much to talk about there. But for LVC, of course, if you're a fan here, you've seen them play a multitude of times. They've had a ton of matches already. And one of the biggest stats I want to point out right now is Plexios. He is currently currently has a 1.81 KD, and that's over both NACE and NECC competitions. Last week was the first NACE matchup, and Plexios was 32-11, giving him a 2.91 KD. Massive, massive stats from him, and I think that's very important to mention, as if you could stop Plexios, you very well could stop LVC, as outside of him, the main player of this LVC team has been Emporium, who is at a 1.25, and he had a 4.50 KD last time around, but of course he was only 18-4, so not a ton to work off of there. But regardless, still some very interesting stats that should be kept up with as the season goes on. Something that's just really important, I think, important to look at as we continue on in this season. But of course, that is something that time will tell. Now, let's talk about the maps, and to be quite honest, there's really not much to say here. This has been the same map set every single series for the entire season, outside of one where Night Haven was the first map. We have Club for LVC will be taking the attack in map number 1. It'll be Clubhouse, which was last map, or the first map in last week's matches. Then we will have Oregon, which is the second map of all of the matches so far this season, with LVC on the defense there, and Border as map number 3, where LVC will be starting off on the defense. This is the same 3 maps that have been this series, every single map or every single series this year. So not a whole lot to talk about there. I'm not going to lie to you. There just really isn't much to say. But LVC is certainly very, very good on these maps. Of course, it wouldn't be it wouldn't be the series if if they weren't good on them. Otherwise, they'd be banning. But of course, we have a very interesting one to look at here. Is there really isn't much to talk about. Like I said, the Purdue Fort Wayne team they forfeited last week. I believe they might play in CR6, but I don't think they do. So there's really just, this team hasn't played much at all this entire year. So there's just really the NACE match that they end up forfeiting. And that's really all you can say about this Purdue Fort Wayne team. We are just waiting on one more player from PFW to get into the lobby. I know earlier I saw the messages between Mr. Davis, Davies, our captain, and the captain of the PFW team. They're having issues with their PCs crashing for Rainbows, so hopefully there's no issues with that tonight. We will have to see as we get into the series, as we continue on in said series, but I'm not really sure what to expect there. Hopefully they don't have any issues. I know we've had our own set of issues on occasion, so it's definitely a possibility, but we're just going to hope for the best. But outside of Rainbow Six, I'll talk a little bit about it just as we're waiting to get into the game here. We have LVC Overwatch taking on a Midway University. Overwatch was officially at the start of the season, they were put in the Challengers division for NECC, and after some review from NECC, they got moved down to the Emergence division, which is just better suited for the ranks of the players on that team outside of B-Dog, of course. So that is really what led to that decision. And again, we are very thankful for NECC for looking into that and taking account of the rest of the team outside of B-Dog for the placement. So they will be taking their first match in the NECC Emergence Mideast B division, where they will be playing Midway. That will be taking place at 8 o'clock, so we still have a little bit of time before that happens, and that will, of course, not be on our stream, as we'll still more than likely be taking Rainbow Six's match at the time. So if you want to watch that, go take a look over at twitch.tv/bdoggow when that match goes live. I'm not going to remind everyone on stream, as it'll just not be possible. I'll be in the middle of a Rainbow game casting, so I just don't have the ability to kind of remember that. As both the teams are ready, we are just going to start straight into it. LVC Purdue Fort Wayne Clubhouse, map number 1. Let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to go. We are into the game. And here are the bans. It'll be PFW getting that first ban as the defenders to kick off our series here. They will be taking out an attacker. I'd imagine we might see an OSA ban and possibly even another ban of... I'm honestly not sure, low-key. Outside of OSA, it'll be Habana taken off. I have seen Habana banned by a few different teams, so that one doesn't really surprise me too much. Just kind of forgot Habana gets banned on this map so much, as we do see her played sometimes too. But looking at the ban for LVC, I would imagine it would be an OSA ban. That would just make the most sense, and that'll be that, as the LVC just despises playing against this operator. Very, very annoying to take on. So now we will head back to another LVC ban, which either will be Fenrir or possibly another operator like Solus or Azami. The Azami ban from LVC, and I know that they do tend to ban Azami, and if they don't have to ban Fenrir, but they also have been playing Fenrir the past couple of matches, so definitely something to look out for, especially with how powerful Fenrir can be. And I do apologize, there is no audio. I don't know if that's on my end. That might be a broken part of the game. I know that there is some audio issues with this game, as it looks like it is just a game issue. It's a bit unfortunate. And you can see there at the end, Fenrir was the ban. So if we have the audio glitch, unfortunately, I'm not going to make the players restart. That's not worth it. So we will just unfortunately have to deal with the no audio. I could even put music in the background if it really comes down to it, and we'll go from there. But looking defensively for the side of PFW, they will be taking the basement site first. And LVC have a very I say well-known, but known for their perspective. And it looks like we do have audio, thankfully. I always get worried that we lose audio on this game, because I know it is an issue. But anyways, speaking on this site specifically, LVC, what they like to do, and I would assume other teams do, I apologize, I don't have the most Rainbow knowledge. I don't really follow the Pro League too well. They'll take out this hatch right here. As you can see in the kitchen, they'll take this one down, and they'll open up a bit of the floorboards as well, and they'll go straight for the plant, basically right next to the bomb in this area here, so they can have someone watch from above, and they'll just take as much space as they can up here, force everyone down into the sites for the opposing team, and really just focus on control of blue, control of kitchen. As long as they can do all that, they typically tend to win the round, and looks like they're just getting some last-minute revisions done, or last-minute cam placements. It'll be Passion all the way up top, roaming on the Solus. Cherbs gonna be holed over in the mines. So you can see a couple players still just getting some extra pieces done, making sure their entire setup is cleaned out. It'll be Passion, though. Likely the one to get into engagement first. As Reliable, trying to spot any util, finds the first Valk Cam, and that one should be taken down pretty quickly. I like this IQ pick from Reliable, and this is really a different push completely from LVC. You typically don't see these operators picked for this team, so I'm curious to see what their plan is. I know they've been working on a bunch of different strats as of late, especially on the maps that they've been playing so much. They don't want to become predictable, and that's exactly what their goal is. It looks like Glug not going to be able to get the second Cade onto that hatch, so that'll get... Actually, no, it doesn't get opened up. So, still having to find a way to get through this hatch and get downstairs, but nobody left for the take. Is curious to see where Passion is, as now Passion may be able to catch a flank here. But no, the flank is watched out for. That is reliable. Takes out the first blood. Plexios taking down Fragged, and now a 3v5. There at least are players on site. You'll have Churbs over towards blue. This is a standard spot, especially for Jaegers, as they can put down their util and kind of hold that off. And Tommy the Cat also propped up in sight. Glug basically there too, but just a bit over towards main. There's really not... This is about the best situation you're going to get if you are PFW. There's just not much you can do, especially when you have your roamer gone so quickly into the round. You can even see the nade being cooked by Plexios. Working off the drone work. The Senate trying to get down with the diffuser. That's not going to go. It'll be Emporium to pick up the trade, but that's still... Glug is alive. Opens up a rotation. See, detail from the Sens is out there. Sorry, not the Sens. The Grim. Churbs also getting down. So now it's all down to Glug. 1v4 for Glug. Diffuser is down too. That's all LVC really need to get done. They can pretty much just force the hand of Glug if they want to take this round, and Emporium gonna get the kill for Churbs, or onto Churbs. It's down to Glug, has the Nitro cell. Doesn't connect, I don't believe, but does take damage in the meantime, and Plexios finally closing that one down. Just not a whole lot Glug has the ability to do there, especially when you're going up against a player like Plexios holding a tight angle of that nature. That's a great start to this game for LVC, and you can already see that they've worked on their strats. Their strats were fantastic before, but they want to make sure that they have even more to pull out of the hat. And that play right there is exactly the reason why they want to have that ability. They want to be so dynamic on the maps that they play so often that it's impossible to stop them. And PFW going to head back down to the site. They're going to even keep the exact same comp except for Churbs. And actually, that's a lie. Fragged also not going to be on the Valkyrie. It's going to be an echo play from Fragged, which is essentially like a movable Valk cam, if you really think about it. Also has the ability to stun, and if you play off those stuns well enough, I mean, you can just find yourself a free kill or two. I'm curious how the Legion of Churbs will work, as LVC was pretty efficient on that push. Didn't really have to wait that long and to get into the site. It really came down to Passion, too. Passion not able to find anything on the flank, and getting cut down pretty much immediately by Reliable. Frag's just going to play off the early info. As you can see, Passion prepping the window. There won't be anyone outside of it, but he, of course, has the util to make sure of it. Glug getting some pings onto this player. I believe it's going to be Davies. He's just holding outside of office, or inside of office, seeing if anyone comes on a long flank, but pretty sure his location is known, so I can't imagine someone would try to push that, especially knowing there's a player who's watching. See the drone starting to work through. Going to be one of the first players in the building outside of Davies. The Senate already worked his way up towards Kitchen. And this is where the execute can again come through. The Senate did die while dropping, but he was traded out pretty quickly, so gives LVC some space to work with. And that drone isn't going to spot the player that's sitting in the close corner. Not 100% sure who that is. I think that's Passions. Passion and Glug put me in some pretty advantageous positions if LVC aren't careful about this. Also, this is where Reliable does his best, holding these very long angles. Has a fantastic shot on him. Only just Need to force him into shooting, especially on a long angle. That's huge. But Plexios going to be the man to find the first blood. Tommy the Cat taken down from above. Plexios on the sledge, just continuing to open up this floor. On the minute left, LVC have done a great job of just weighing down the forces of PFW, trying to make this as painful as possible to hold. As finally the hatch gets open, Plexios does need to be careful about where he's placing himself. Emporium finds though, takes down Churbs. Passion on a flank, only gets one though. Emporium at least turns around. So Reliable can't hold from long. He can no longer hold that flank. It's going to come down to someone else on LVC, but realistically, they don't really have the info on it, but they don't need to hold that push anymore. As Frag taking out Plexios, the Senate just drops, trying to get that diffuser down. Davies takes out Frag, so it's going to be down to Glug, and he's at least on site. He can try and take down this planter. He spots the foot of one. I believe that's Davies. He gets spotted. Emporium was also down, so this is actually a 1v1. This is a 1v1 for Davies. Glug in a good spot. Davies with the best weapon for the job. With 25 seconds left, it's a 1v1 purely. Does Glug just fake this? What is the play of Glug? Davies just trying to force his hand, and may have done just that. And he does. Great play from Davies. The patience pays off, and Davies just playing the 1v1 to perfection, especially from above. Knows he has every advantage in the book. So LVC going to take a 2-0 lead. And that's going to give LVC the advantage here in game number one. A map where they are so clinical on developing even more strategies with different operators, really just trying to widen the playbook, and that could be scary for some teams down the line, especially if LVC get even more time to refine what their plays look like. And if they can even diversify their map pool despite not playing many of them, that would be very, very pivotal for this team. Of course, we're only 2 rounds into this game, though, so there is still definitely a lot to work on, a lot to be seen from these two teams. As both rounds coming into that same site, finally going to force PFW over towards the upstairs sites. Big comfort sites for most teams. This is typically where you would see a team start off a map, but it was a bit of an opposite strat for PFW Mastodon. And you're going to see a couple traps go down from Frag, likely going to be roaming around, just looking for any bloods that they can get. Glug with the castle. This is basically a standard setup, so I'm not really going to go through it too much. You're going to have that mirror spot. In fact, 2 mirror spots. One looking over towards that garage wall, which I don't even know if it's reinforced. It was a bit hard to tell from there. The Senate, though, also looking for a bit of a standard take here. You're going to see Davies on the ace on the opposite end. The Senate going to be with these thermites to take down these barriers here over towards main. Also Reliable looking for soft reach, and Plexios just going to be a man of all trades, do whatever he needs to do on the Iana. Emporium also has the Thatcher. And look at this from Plexios. Nade kill. Beautiful drone work. You can see the pings coming in onto these players. Great work from LVC. The drone work has always been so crucial. And you're going to see there, it even marks down one of the frost traps that was in a bit of a sneaky spot. Reliable just going to take out this mirror. That's going to make it so much tougher for this defensive hold. And look at that angle. Reliable with the one tap. He certainly is a man who loves those one taps. So the head of Frag now his to claim. And this is a 2-way attack. Or that's at least so PFW thinks. Emporium taking it down. Passion down to Glug, down to Churbs. The drones spotting Churbs, rotating. Now he's got to be careful, as Glugnug has everywhere to watch. He's got to be panicking right now. He doesn't have a lot to do either. Churbs finds one, but that doesn't matter. That trade is immediate. Glugnug having so much to worry about here, trying to get every angle. As LVC on the push. 4 different angles for LVC. Glugnug not a chance in hell to save that one. That was a beautiful attack from LVC. A timeout from PFW. And I think that that's needed after how these past 3 rounds have gone. Emporium at 4-1 at the top of the scoreboard. Plexios not far behind at 5-1, just without the assist of Emporium. Davies at 4-0. Everyone from LVC really contributing. Even the Senate still having an assist to his name. This has been a fantastic set of work from LVC. 3-0, and it's gone fairly quickly. This has just been a masterclass of Clubhouse, and we know how much LVC has been able to do on this map specifically. In the National Championship, they won this map being down in a 4v5 the entire map. So if you're curious, this is LVC's best map, and they are showing every single week why they love this map and how they have managed to just perfect it in every single way. What can PFW do to respond? I mean, LVC have just looked great. Everyone is shooting back from LVC, and they really have been putting on a show here to begin this series. And if LVC continue playing like this, they could 7-0 PFW. And if they manage to do that, going into map 2, I can't imagine PFW are in too good of a spot, or too good of a mental spot, as they go right back to this set of sites. Again, they doubled down on the basement and it didn't work. Can they make it happen on the top floor sites in the gym and the bedroom? As LVC just going to opt for that exact same attack, except for actually Davies does switch over to that ace. And again, this is just going to be identical to the previous round. Will the result, though, be the same? I'm not 100% sure what the plan is here for PFW. The only difference is that Glugnug has switched off of the castle. Passion, I should say this, I'm going to put it this way. The operators are the exact same, but the players playing those operators are completely different. No one is playing the same operator in this round. Everyone has switched, but the composition has stayed the same, except for Cherbs. Cherbs is the only one who is on the same operator from last round. Again, also, if you're unsure, we do have a 3-minute delay as is standard. So if I call something in the previous round, that's how I know. I don't have the time to take notes, unfortunately, as I do run the spectator and the stream. So I'm just looking over my right monitor with the stream up so I can see these replays, basically these round replays. LVC looking to get the drone work to perfection once again. You can see Davies holding down that drone for a super long time. The Senate looking to open up the balcony barrier, and he's going to do just that. That forces the hand of Glugnug just barely getting out, getting away from the shots of Emporium, but now Emporium going to open up the hatch above him too. Just looking to pinch every single direction of these players. The Senate needs to be a bit careful here. I guess there is a shield, so it's not the end of the road, but both of these players just in a standstill. They cannot take this fight, but Frye getting the first blood onto the Senate. Just putting too much of his body out there. It's going to cost him his life. Finally, a first blood in favor of PFW. Bit of a skirmish for Emporium and Glugnug. No one going to fall, though. There is still a player behind the shield. Davies now going to be the next man up to try and take him down. Frag, though, looking to make a statement, looking to hold these LVC players at bay, and so far he's doing just that. Davies going to start droning through red into the sites. Spots 2 players, knows exactly where they're at, and those are huge sites for LVC. As Plexios going to look to get another nade from down below, and he should get it this time around too, and he does. The pings are perfect from LVC. The drone work just continuing to impress. Davies catches Tommy and Tommy the cat sprinting in. And now LVC back in the man advantage. 30 seconds left. What does PFW have left? You're going to see Passion looking for a flank. That might be crucial later on in this round. If he doesn't get spotted out. Glug, though, at 1 HP, somehow takes out Emporium from that angle. Does get traded. Now is here, and Cherbs just stuck on the pinch. Or just stuck in bathroom. Gets taken down now, a 2v1. What does Passion have in him? Might be able to find both, and he does, but doesn't get the kill on either. Reliable gonna get the plant down, and now he can just hide and stay away. He can tuck into the gym. As Plexios is all the way outside. It's gonna be a very tough 2v1 if you are Passion. These players are stacked. Plexios in a fantastic spot, but look at Passion on the flank. Gets Plexios down. Such a smart play from Passion. Out of time though, running out of time. Reliable, keeping LVC perfect. Great play from Reliable there. Played it so patiently. Waited for the audio cue of that player running in. Plexios getting shot in the back there, but again, just a very smart flank from Passion. He's been showing some numbers here in this map. Despite being down 4-0, he's been showing out. But now heading into round 5, it is going to be back down to the basement again for PFW. They are looking to get something on this site. They're going to go with that Echo setup again. Passion, I'd imagine, just going to run straight upstairs, put the hatch on. Or I should say put the reinforcement onto the hatch. And then he'll head all the way up to the floor, to the top of the building. See if he can find anything on the roam this time around. He's been having a bit of a rough game. I say rough, but really it's been rough for basically the entire team. Passion sitting at 3 and 4. Glug 4 and 4. Two players that are trying to keep their team into this one, but it's been very, very hard to do so, as LVC's attacks have just been so clinical. Even in the last round, not finding that first blood really didn't mean much of anything, as it allowed, as LVC still taking it, finding 2 back with unresponded. And LVC, is there anything they can, let's say PFW, is there anything they can get here? The wall going to be opened up. And look at that, he's going to catch Davies flying down. A great play from Passion, uses the soul as utility in the best way possible. Finally, something going the way of PFW, and Passion going to get some sight on another. Passion needs to be the catalyst in this round for PFW. They had a man advantage last round and they weren't able to close it out. Can they make it happen this time? Passion just going to jump outside and trying to hit the shots, but is not quite able to. He's going to have to back away. And his position is definitely known, but is he going to be able to help his team on site as Plexios whiffs a ton of shots there, doesn't get the kill, and he's going to pay for it. Now, LVC starting to collapse in this round. That is a massive one from Tommy the Cat. His first kill of the game, and it comes in when they need it. Finally, PFW getting something to go their way as Tommy the Cat taking down the Senate. 2v5, Emporium and Reliable. Is there anything that they can do here? Diffuser at least in the hands of Emporium, but there's really not much else outside of that. So now PFW doesn't even need to move. They can force Reliable and Emporium to push straight into them. And with a minute left, I mean, what does LVC really have in this round? As there's one player that's going to be in blue. That player is Glugnug, who gets behind Emporium, and now in a 1v5, it'll be Frag to take down Reliable. A flawless for the first one on the board. PFW finally getting something. And LVC finally looking vulnerable. But they still have a 3-round cushion. And it's going to be a gym push, or sorry, gym hold for PFW. Last round of the first half, and LVC are looking to close it out on a high note. They, regardless, either way, they have won this half, but can they close it out with a 4-round lead? That would be massive. Just needing 2 on the defense to close out the map. And I think it's very well possible, especially with this hold being the exact same once again PFW just not showing much versatility at all here. And I think that's really has been to their detriment. Yes, they took the last round, but realistically, they should have after at some point. It is currently 4-1, and they've only shown 2 total strats. So I'm not 100% sure what they're going for this time. But I feel that they may need to see if they can diversify their playbook. Of course, this is their last defensive round, so it's not really going to be a major issue. But of course, LVC has shown that they have been the better team so far. Plexios just trying to get an early pick, but really there's going to be no one around there. Passion at least in the vicinity, but does he get droned out? And it is. You can see Davies getting some ice onto Passion there, and that's going to lead to a first blood. Plexios with the pistol, going to finish off Passion. See the drone work of Davies proving to be necessary. Now they have the entirety of the lobby open. The Senate going to take down this hatch once more. See if he can win the battle this time around. Does need to be a bit careful though. And you'll see him go for the drone. So it kind of clips through some of the walls here, and you can see it kind of glitching out. So he may have to try to pick that one up. As Davies looking to take out that shield, ends up getting Wamide, so he's gonna have to just have the better aim. Plexios kind of roaming around, seeing where the openings lie. And look at that, the Senate gets the angle. Cherub's gonna fall, trying to rotate out. And Davies still watching over the shield. Emporium just taking down all the castle barriers on site, and now LVC are going to start collapsing. They have the drone info, they have the gun, they have the man advantage. 5v2, Glug and Tommy the Cat in precarious positions. Glug trying to hold off, but he's got every angle to worry about. And the final one for Plexios, a flawless in response. LVC close out the half in perfect fashion. LVC have looked phenomenal today. As it is 5-2-1. 2 more rounds and they'll have already taken the first map in just about 20 to 30 minutes. Does LVC have it in them to close this out? They'll head down to the basement to kick things off. And we're going to see a mirror out here from Reliable. Not something that's insanely common in the basement site, but something that I'm curious to see where he goes with these mirrors. So we'll continue to stick with him in this one. Plexios is going to be on the Solus, as you would expect. Emporium with the Valkyrie. And this strat is basically identical to what they've been doing this entire time. I'm assuming Reliable going to be watching blue. Will likely put down the mirror on at this reinforcement there, and then kind of just have some eyes on blue and continue looking about. Outside of that, though, we're going to see Emporium tossing down some last-minute Falcon cams. Davies just looking to get his stuff set up, and Plexios all the way out in garage. Going to be roaming around, seeing what he's able to find. There's some common spots being checked by PFW. Drones now being tossed out as Glug can get the spot on the Plexios, so now he's going to have to be a lot more careful of his position. Does at least take out one drone, but he at least gets out. He is able to rotate away to blue. And look at that, he spots one. Plexios! Disgusting shots from him. Simply just the smarter player. Knows exactly where the pressure is coming from, and he's going to take advantage of it. And look at this from Passion, almost getting Plexios there. But he's doing a good job of being vigilant. And that's, all of a sudden, that makes things a bit scary. He's going to have to back away from tunnel. There's just surely no way he continues to force this issue. Passion on the Maverick, just trying to be a nuisance, but realistically, he might pay for his life, or with his life here, if he's not careful. Tunnel just not a great spot to really make much noise out of. Tommy the Cat, I'd assume, going to be the one going for the hold above in kitchen. Passion still hanging out. Cherubs with the Brava. Just going to see if there's anything to hack on around. Also, get some info with the drone. And slowly, you're going to see PFW starting to get set up for the execute, but the Senate getting a clip there onto Glug. That's going to put him pretty dang low. But still be careful. Look at that! Passion on the flank somehow finds a double. Finally traded out, but just LVC forgetting about Passion. As Reliable takes down the planner. Still LVC able to control this round, but it gets much sketchier now with that flank taking out two. Glug tossing down a Candela. As Cherubs not the one with the diffuser, so Glug gonna have to go around and LVC check this. But look at these angles LVC are holding. There's just no way these PFW players can make their way into the site. Just look at that angle from the Senate. And look at that from Davies too, just waiting for the drop. And now the Senate gets both! What shot from the Senate? That is incredible to get both there. The Senate with the clip right there. A collateral to close out that round. And now match point for LVC. This has been fantastic work from LVC so far. They have just been clinical in every single step of the game. Even losing two there on that flank towards dirt, it doesn't even matter as LVC continue to hold on. And now LVC looking to close out game number one on Clubhouse. PFW have just had no responses for this team whatsoever. You're going to see a fairly standard strat, at least if you are familiar with how LVC plays this map. You're going to see Davies with the mirror, going to put it in the very standard spot of bathroom, but of course wants to get some other setup done first. Reliable with the Jaeger. May look to play over towards Cash here. Make sure no one gets too far ahead of themselves. The Senate with the mute, going to keep the site locked down. Plexio is going to be roaming with that Frost, and Emporium may also elect to kind of play a bit off-site here. Has the castle barriers up, so really not much else for him to do. See a Dokebi pulled in for Cherubs. Curious to find out what their strat is with the Dokebi there. Also going to be seeing Fragged already, making their way up through Garage. There's Plexios, and as I'm saying it, Reliable actually the one to find first blood. He's over towards red, and Cherubs just trying to sprint straight through, gets picked off. And Reliable has a great angle here, can at least spot the body of a player and pop his head over the shield if he needs to. Davies. Also, may see a few come through just a little bit. Is Garage going to be the main source of attack here? PFW. You're going to see Glugdog also picking up his thermite charge. As Reliable gets naded out, should kill him. Actually, no, he has the Jaeger. I forgot he's on Jaeger, so he's at least going to stay alive for this moment. He does need to be a bit careful, but he at least has the ability to readjust with all those reinforcements around him. So Reliable still in a very safe spot. And Red really not giving up completely, as he can just hold the rotate through there. And you can even see Plexios has eyes directly on the red stairs. Reliable does need to be careful. Look at that from Plexios. Oh, he's not able to kill Passion, though. Passion takes out Reliable and gets out with his life. Does Plexios get taken down here, though? As now he's going to have players in front of him. Gets out with one. Spots another, but doesn't get the kill. So he'll get finished off 3v3. But he's done a bit of damage. as Davies with the mirror just has all the intel on every single player, knows where the last 3 are at. So LVC, they don't really need to do a whole lot. They just need to force PFW to push through here. As Davies gets naded, that's actually going to get a down onto Emporium. So now it's even sketchier, but Davies doing fantastic work with the mirror. Going to take down another, looking for the third to close out the map, but it's a 3v1 for Glugnug. Is there anything he can do here? At the moment, the answer is no, but Emporium is at least down, so it is a 2v1. Unless the Senate can get this revive, and he should be able to do it, but Glugnug gonna flash, trying to push right into Davies. And he's not going to be able to. Davies closes out the map, a 3K from Davies. Fantastic work. Plays that mirror to near perfection. LVC up 1-0, looking to close out this series early. That is fantastic work from LVC there. And they will take out the map. Plexios, the MVP, 12-5. No one even in the same area as Plexios outside of Davies, 9-2. Great work from the team, and they are going to go up 1-0 in the series. I believe we're going to have a bit of a break before we head into map number 2, which map number 2, if you weren't here for me to kind of go over at the start, it will be Oregon. This time, though, LVC going to be starting out on the defense. So we will have a bit of a different start off for this team. But, of course, this has been the same map set that LVC has played all year long, so really not much of a difference outside of them starting defensively instead of on the attacking side. But realistically, it doesn't make too much of a difference, especially when you're playing the same maps. So we will actually head on over to a quick little break before we get into map number 2. LVC, PFW, Mastodon. LVC currently holding a 1-0 lead. We'll be right back when we are ready to kick off map number 2 and see who goes ahead. We'll be right back.
standing here without you, and I can see it's midnight. I cannot live without you. I'm terrified to see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back after LVC take map number 1, 7-1. A fantastic showing on Clubhouse. Now we'll move over to Oregon as LVC looking to close out the series here. And if they look anything close to what they did on map 1, I think it'll be a pretty convincing victory. Of course, we will have to wait and see. As LVC going to get the first ban there, they will take out Osa. Of course, that is the typical LVC ban. It's pretty rare they don't ban Osa as an attacker unless if Osa is banned before they get to pick. But it'll be Ying on the ban for PFW. Is interestingly enough, PFW was the only one that played Ying. So curious if what they were looking for there. But of course, it's a bit tougher when, especially in collegiate, when you don't really have like proper intel on other teams. You can't really tell what they play. VOD is very hard to come by, and to be quite honest, outside of like LVC teams, it's very hard to find VOD on anybody. So understandable ban. They're also going to take out Mira, which is a really interesting one. Mira is a very strong operator, so very curious to see what that changes up for LVC, as I know they have a couple Mira strats. But we will now head into round number 1. LVC this time around on the defense to kick us off. So it'll be a bit of a different story. But LVC looking to go to that second floor. Dorms, kids, and that's typically where you'll see most teams start off on this map. And if they really get forced to it, they'll take it down to the basement. But, of course, that comes with winning the top sites first. Strategy for LVC here. Going to be a Solus for Davies. Reliable with the Jaeger. The Senate on the mute. The Warden out for Plexios, and Emporium with the Wamai. Looking to get a bunker down here, as Davies, I'd imagine, will take a bit of a roaming role. And Plexios, of course, on the Warden. There's really not much else you can do but roam with Warden. I mean, it's kind of the whole concept of his operator. So you'll see Plexios probably in the main lobby, and freezer, mainly just looking to make a play, catch anyone off guard that he can, just play off his brain, as that is the most pivotal thing that really LVC relies on. This frag on the Iona, looking to find any quick headshots onto a player, maybe getting a bit overzealous, but of course it's not going to come through. As the rest of the team going to follow in suit, but again, not really anything that's going to come of that. You can see Reliable holding some cameras, making sure that everything is clear. And soon here, Plexios has to be a bit careful. He's going to have to crawl past this window. How often do you see a player crawl in this game? As Plexios escapes near death there. Davies going to be the main man on in this play. If he's able to get something, that should be already a huge advantage in the round for LVC, as they'll have that man roaming around and still in the minds of PFW. As Reliable, going to spot one with that cam. So now LVC at least have an idea of what this push is turning out to be. You can see Reliable just going to keep holding that. It's an indestructible cam unless you're on the side of it or you throw a nade at it. So he's going to be able to use that for pretty much the entire round. I can't imagine PFW, especially with it being so far on site, can really take the time to destroy it. And now the push is being made. Plexios, though, getting first blood. Going to take down Glugnug. As now pressure is starting to be put on. Emporium, the next man up, takes some damage onto Churbs. And he's just trying to get aggressive, but not going to get anything out of it, so he'll push away. Davies below the attic hatch. Might be able to take one down. No, Passion finds it, and then Frag going to take out Emporium with a nade. So now this is all of a sudden continuing to go the way of PFW. It's all collapsing. Reliable at least getting one back, but not before two go in the way of PFW, the Senate going to even out the numbers, and look at Reliable working with the Senate. These are great positions to have as the Senate takes out another frag, gets falls. It's all down to Tommy the Cat. Can Tommy make it look like he has 9 lives, or is he going to end up falling to one of these players? 24 seconds left. Tommy at least with the diffuser in hand. Shots continuing to ring out. LVC, they know they have to force this player into a push. That's exactly what's going to happen. Gets the eyes, and Reliable takes him down. A phenomenal hold from Reliable in the Senate. A 2v4 clutch for LVC, and that's what you want to see from those two players. The duo working, the senior duo working in tandem, playing off one another, and there is just nothing that this team can do wrong today. As LVC continuing to show out. Where does LVC decide to go? And it's that basement site. This is one they're certainly very familiar with. They're huge Bunker Wars fans. You're going to see LVC look to take advantage of the cramped nature from this site. Although the no Mira, or that Mira ban, I should say, from PFW is going to make this just a bit tougher for LVC. They typically will run a Mira and have one right here for, I believe, the Senate to kind of peek off of. But they're just going to have to go with something a bit different on this time around, as they just have to adjust to that ban. What do they elect to go for? Because we're just going to see the typical rush from PFW. Although Tommy the Cat is going to be playing Ram here. Although elects to go below with the rest of the team. That's going to be a start. The Ram starting to get sent out. It's going to be on its merry way, and there's really not much stopping this thing. You have to shoot it in the back, and it's actually just going to kind of ram into that wall and not really have much to do outside of that. So ultimately, the first Ram not really that impactful, but you're going to see this blitz come through for Churd. And now looking to get something to happen, but Emporium finds a double kill off the rip. That wall not doing enough to keep the players of PFW covered. Emporium with a third. Look at those shots from Emporium. Trying to watch main, but they get shot in the back here. Is there anyone watching Pillar? No. That was Emporium. And Glug gonna fall though. Plexios does pick it up, picks up the lane, and all of a sudden, just about, 30, 40 seconds into this round, it's already a 1v5. And Passion, the only player left, has no information on basically anything outside of what his teammates saw before they died. As Davies just gonna rush outside. Just looking to see if Passion is up there, but at least has the sledge so can get through these hatches pretty quickly. And here comes Passion, firing away, seeing if there's anyone that tries to take a fight that they are not the most willing to, or having to. Look at that. Davies almost gets his head chopped off, but managed to get that smoke out, so backs up Passion for even further. 2-1 Passion, but he's gonna need something incredible. Takes off the head of one, but the trade is immediate. Passion somehow finding the head of Plexios there. Emporium gonna at least clean it up. But certainly there's really not much of a chance there for Passion to make a play. And again, this is looking like the possibility of another masterclass from LVC. As now they're forced to their tertiary site, first floor, and that is somewhere where nobody likes to hold. It is just a very awkward one. But of course, if you win those first two, you don't have much of a choice. And you're going to see the Oryx out from Davies. The pulse from Reliable. They're just looking to roam as far away as possible from this site. They know they can just play for the outside hold. The main player you're going to see near these sites is Emporium, and even then, he may just look to play all the way up in the kid's bedroom, as there's really not much for him to do. On site, I mean, as you can see here, there's just really nowhere to take an advantage of, and there's a couple places to reinforce, but outside of that, I mean, not much you can do. So LVC having to play one of the more uncomfortable sites in the game. It's going to be a garage push for PFW. At least a couple to head out that way. Passion already pushed up towards the bedroom window, and he may be able to catch one off guard. Emporium gonna start having to be a bit careful here of his positioning. Does he spot the feet of that player? I would assume not, because he doesn't take the fight. He's gonna back all the way up to attic. And outside of that, I mean, he's not really gonna be able to make much of a play. Pulse, not really spotting anything right now for Reliable. Plexios with the Vigil. Not really needing to hide from much either. As now he's going to look to gather with Emporium here and take some space into attic. But after getting spotted, they have to back away. They can't really give that up. Is Reliable just kind of making a run of it, seeing if there's anyone near him. But at the moment, there's just nothing to be found. Plexios watching from top tower. Again, nothing really there. This is a very slow and methodical push from PFW. They've not really done much outside of droning, so they're going to have to start making a move here soon. You're going to see that IQ from Frag, so going to be at least able to mark where Reliable is. And that's going to be pivotal in this round as Pulse can be a very annoying operator to deal with. As the Senate, though, finding first blood, getting traded out immediately, and now the execution starting to come through. Only 2 players on site. That's going to be Davies and Reliable. They're going to need a massive hold to give time for Plexios and Emporium to make their way back. They're still holding an attic. Almost a second C4 kill there for Reliable, too. But not quite. With just 30 seconds left. Now it's time for the plant. But they're going to hop off of it. Frag finding the head of Plexios. So this is going to make things even tougher for LVC. They at least have some site control, but not enough. And no one has nades or C4s to really get this kill. And the plant does go down. Davies gets taken out from above, and now Reliable and Emporium in another clutch situation. Can they take it again? Emporium, though, going to get put down, and so does Reliable. A great attack from PFW, but again, a very uncomfortable site there. Finally, PFW getting something to go their way. And it's at least looking a bit closer this time around. Stat-wise, not any major outliers, at least at the moment. But there is always the possibility that this could get out of hand. 2-1. LVC still in the driver's seat in both this map and the series. And they're at least now able to go back up to the dorms. And if they win here, next round they can go back down to the basement too. So just be forced to hold that tertiary site once again to close out the half. But you're going to see basically the exact same hold that we did in that first round for LVC. Really no reason to change it. They held it pretty well, although it did end up coming down to a 2v4. Still looked decent for LVC. Of course, they're definitely going to want to look to expand their playbook for future reference. And again, we're going to see a ram from Passion. Curious to see where the play goes, I would imagine they're gonna throw a ramp right on that big window and then have it just kind of wreak havoc over there. But you can already see Passion just quickly works their way up to the window. And Cherub's looking for anyone trying to cross. Not gonna find anyone just yet. But now Passion starting to get this window open, and now a ramp tossed out. And here it goes. Is Emporium gonna be able to do much about it? Or actually, Emporium is down below. Forgot about that play. Plexios though gets first blooded. Tommy again taking down Plexios. He's been having a very off game, which is insanely rare for Plexios, but of course, everyone can always be perfection. As Reliable taking down the Ionic Clone, now has to back away. He's in a very tough spot. Every bit of him is known, and he's going to pay for it. The Senate also puts very, very weak. Davies at least getting one back, but he's going to fall to Glugnug. The Senate going to take down another. Still just trying to stay alive, but he has so much to worry about. Emporium from down below, 1v3. This has to be something unbelievable from Emporium. He has been turning up as of late. Glug starting to get planted in. Should get there, and it does. And with that shot too, Emporium may have been looking for the C4, but doesn't get there fast enough, and also gives away his location. Is there even much he can do in this situation? He doesn't really have great weaponry either. He's not meant to be in this spot. He's meant to just hold a window. As he takes down the first, Frag's gonna get there, and Passion comes around the corner, whips around with that shotty, takes down Emporium. And this one is looking competitive. 2-2, round number 5. And LVC gonna head back down to the basement. And that really starts with Plexios falling. The second he falls, everything starts to collapse for LVC in that round. And PFW is starting to look like they have some life in this series. And that's what they needed, especially after how map 1 went. Getting flawless to close out the game. And this is going to give LVC a better opportunity. Or sorry, PFW a better opportunity to get into map 3. They're going to again run that heavy roam comp. They don't really need to do much differently from that first round, or from that first time that they were down here, because they held it pretty easily. But of course, things are going to change on the attacking side from PFW. Going to see that Capitao come out, the Grim, the Habana. Basically a completely different composition than what we saw last time around. They've really been diversifying their attacking strategies, and that may end up being the benefit to them. As you can see, some drones already being tossed out early. There's a player from LVC that peeks out that window. It may have been Davies. Now, just wisely backs down. There's also no shield for the side of PFW. They believe they don't need it. They're not going to, I would imagine that means their push isn't primarily going to come from that main door. I could be wrong on that, but I have a feeling that may be part of the strategy this time around. Plexios, look at that pixel angle he's holding. But now all the audio from above going to start giving LVC a better gauge on where players are at. PFW players, of course, just trying to clear out the top floor, but there's just nothing there. But we, of course, have the observer to know that. Certainly not anywhere remotely near what the players are seeing. LVC still just holding strong in the site. time starting to slowly dwindle down. The execute certainly being planned here for PFW. Now that they know no one is above them, they can start making their move. And that's what's going to come through. It's likely going to start from this player here on your screen. Tommy the Cat has the Capital arrows to work for. And that's going to be a big piece in this attack for PFW. Fragged also moving up right outside of that A bomb in a very forward position. Bugnug. Drop down here. Tommy the Cat, also the one with the diffuser. I don't know how big of a fan I am of that, but we'll see if it pays off. Actually, it makes sense because then they have to drop down and they can just throw one of these down. Smoke goes down as Plexios finds one, but two go in favor of PFW. They might be able to take a lead here if they are careful about it. Emporium, though, at least getting a trade on the Passions. Shots not there from the Senate. And now, here come PFW. They are in a position to take this round. Emporium, though, again standing strong. He is 7-3. With just 5 seconds left, Reliable finding another. Now puts it all down to Cherubs. No time remaining. At least has that diffuser in hand, so they can start the plant, but forced off of it. Fantastic hold from LVC, and I think the main issue there from PFW was they got stalled out for so long. Those smokes from Davies just holding off that push even longer than what PFW had originally planned. Gave LVC even more time to hold off for. So they will take that round, and they're looking to put it at 4-2 going into the second half. With the last round of the first half, LVC are not forced to go to that tertiary site. They are forced, or not forced, they are able to go back to the bedrooms. Of course, they lost this one the last time they were here, but certainly looking to make a bit of a different statement this time around. As LVC look to get set up here, you're going to see Davies again on the Solus. We'll see what he's able to put out here, and if this push comes for Garage in this one, then Davies may be able to get something going. As I don't believe the last two times that LVC was at this site, they even touched Garage, so going to be an interesting thing to keep an eye on as the round continues to go on, but from what I'm seeing, Garage has been completely left alone. As you can see, the peak spots are being covered by PFW. And already, you're going to see Davies fly out there, get some info from his teammates, flies out, takes out Glugnug, does get traded, but he at least has done some damage of his own. Frag needs to be careful. So does Plexios. Both players looking to get something there as Passion just launches himself into the site, takes down the Senate, but traded immediately. 2 kills that realistically just are kind of awkward. Just both players flying in and paying with their lives. They do get one, but at what cost, really? Plexios kind of surrounded here. Needs to be focused. Looks like he will be focusing on this player towards Attic. He's going to have to be worrisome of this one. Now Plexios, after hearing the rappel, looking away from Attic. But again, sees it get open. Emporium, though, getting down. Fragged. Going to take out Emporium. Plexios responds with one on the Tommy. Trades are the key, or are the story of this round here. Down to Plexios and Reliable. Plexios has been having a bit of an off game, but certainly still looking to make calls. He's been the IGL for this roster. And having him alive is pivotal in a situation like this. As now he gets droned out. He's going to likely come down to Reliable, what he's able to do. Refuser, that's a massive blunder though. They may just look for the kills here. But again, Plexios can just let them play into this, but his shots are not clean. It's down to Reliable, 2v1. Just 20 seconds left. And these players need to work their way to the diffuser. I don't know where it's at either. Reliable not going to get the first chirps with a flick onto the head of Reliable. Puts the half at a draw. And PFW are fighting in this one. Finally getting something to go their way. As we go into half number 2, LVC, again, they can still close out the game here, to close out the series here. But they're going to need to win a few straight if they want that to happen. They've been in control for a majority of this game, but really, Purdue Fort Wayne just putting up more of a fight than what we saw in Clubhouse. And it'll be that top site for PFW. You're going to see Tommy the Cat on the Fenrir. This could be a major danger for LVC if they don't take out Tommy the Cat quickly. Fragged also on the Valkyrie. Very bunker-heavy composition from this PFW roster. I'd assume their big play here is to just get some just hold control of site. Rely a lot on Tommy the Cat's Fenrir abilities to blind these LVC players. Gonna see the Senate on 0. We've seen over the past couple of weeks how the Senate has very effectively used these 0 cameras. It's been giving LVC so much information. And that information is what LVC has been thriving off of. And seeing the drones do just that as well. It's really going to come down as somehow already Reliable has fallen. He's going to get his head chopped off there by, I believe it was Passion. Fantastic work from Passion. We may see PFW go into a lead here for, I think, the first time in this entire series. Spots a nade getting thrown. Emporium takes out Passion. That's the roamer gone. That's going to be a big opening for LVC, especially now that they've dealt with him so quickly. Emporium from below, seeing if anyone dares to walk over this open floorboard. The Senate just looking to get a camera down. Now going to take advantage of it. And look at that. 3 pings straight onto that player behind the bunks. The Senate is right there, and that's a down. Plexios from below. Can't get the finish, though. The Senate at least still has pings onto the player. As they finally finish off that player. That was a big key in that one. And look at this push. Look at that push from Fragged. Just has no business being there. Ends up making a play out of it and gets away. So that's the Emporium gone. Senate gets eyes right onto Tommy the Cat, who takes out the camera immediately. As again, the Senate not able to take it out, and look at those shots. Davies already pecking the feet of Tommy the Cat. As Plexios now going to be nearsighted. He can't push out of this. He cannot make a push out of this. As he at least takes out the Fenrir. His teammates doing a lot of damage too, but they're starting to run out of time. LVC need to start getting a move on here if they want to take this round. Plexios from below takes out Frag. That's 2 for Plexios in the round. And now LVC have the ability to execute. Plexios still doing damage. Starting to walk onto site. Spot Glug here. No. Now it's down to 1v2. The Senate makes it a 1v1. Can he get the win? Going for the plant. He's going to take this fight. he's just going to play this one. The Senate. Look at that play from the Senate. Great work. Picks the right lane to go through. And the Senate coming in clutch. Not something you see every day, ladies and gentlemen. As LVC continue to hold their lead. LVC have just not been able to do, or have been able to do no wrong. And it's just been continued play after play from everyone on this roster. Everyone contributing today. And this is the LVC you want to see. They're going to go back up to this top floor. PFW looking to make something happen. They're just trying to get something to go in their way, trying to find a lead here, and that has just not been a possibility. As we're going to see basically the same composition. The only difference is that now, instead of the mute from Churbs, it's going to be a Jaeger. Can that be enough? As we did see the nades really be a big factor in that last round. I want to start this off with Passion. He's just going to be looking for a peek. Plug just some walls finished up. As you can see, Cam's defaults being shot through. Reliable already in the building. He's going to be all the way downstairs, and he'll be popping knock just to make sure that he isn't detected. Churbs looking to rotate to armor, and Passion just waiting to take the head off of one of these players. Frag, though, taking some damage, and that's going to force a rotation out from Passion. And that rotate might be huge, as it gives LVC some more space. Also, the center pulls out Twitch here instead of the Zero. I'm a bit interested in what the plan is with this Twitch drone. He's going to be able to make his way onto site, but he has not been able to find anything. Maybe looking for some Fenrir's there, but doesn't see a single one. That's the Senate. Throws the next drone onto the roof of the building. He's going to have to wait for a little bit. Just droning through. Emporium, though, going to get taken down by Passions. And Twitch drone going to at least get the spot there from the Senate, but now he's out of them. This has been a bit of a stalled push for LVC. They have no, really minimal information to work off of. As Frag sat upstairs, trying to spot something, but look at that nade from Plexios again from down low. Wrecking havoc. You can even see the 3-ping still there. Off the call from his teammates. Davies just taking out as much of the Fenrir's as possible. Trying to negate this operator. Such a strong one, too. With 40 seconds left, LVC, they're going to start going for this execute. As LVC having that set up. Plexios trying to get any info he can, but really just doesn't have any. After that clone goes down, and he has to back out. Frag gets a C4 tossed at him, so he's going to fall. And now Plexios trying to make a play, but he's going to get taken down too. Only finds one. Down to Reliable. 1v3. 13 seconds left. This should be a round for PFW. And they, again, come in clutch here in the waning seconds of the round. PFW going to put it at 4 apiece. You know, Reliable just already in the know of not being able to take this one. Great work from PFW to keep themselves in it here. They have been doing as much as they can, but is it enough? LVC still just continuing to barely keep themselves ahead here. PFW need to find something that'll keep them alive in this series. They cannot afford to drop this map. And it's going to be a basement hold. As is expected, really. The comp really not changing a whole lot. The only difference is you're going to see Fragged with the Warden here and Cherubs with the Wamai. The site setup, pretty much identical to LVC's. The only main difference here is really, you're going to see that Fenrir from Tommy the Cat. LVC didn't run Fenrir at all today, so just something to keep note of, especially with how the Fenrir affected Plexios in the last round. He really had to lock in and kind of try to move away from those Fenrirs, and they're just placed all the way up through those stairs. Now the drone work again for LVC. Look at that Emporium. Not spotting Solus, but now does. Passion has to be careful. Now knows his position is known. Call coming in from Emporium too. Dokevi, the perfect operator for this. Emporium can even hear the audio on the cell phone. Trying to take the fight, but may just force Passion to take this one and gets the down. Huge one from Emporium. That's a roamer gone as Plexios will clean up the kill, and that's going to be a hack too. Cameras are access for LVC. That is a big play from them. Now they can start making their move onto the site. Glugnug playing a forward position towards Laundry Stairs. Maybe able to catch someone off guard. I believe it's Reliable. Just waiting. No, it's not actually. Not sure who that is outside of the stairs, but Glugnug may be able to get one. He does. Takes out Davies from the wall bang. And he gets away. The awareness of Glugnug is just fantastic in that moment. Managed to take out one. He's going to get that one back. Davies sitting at 2 and 8 in this map. Not having a great day, but there's been a few times, I think 3 or 4 times now, where he's just been shot through a wall. Not much he can do about it. Reliable from above on the stage, trying to spot out anybody that might be in this in red here. Not gonna see anyone, but he will have some pressure to work with if he does drop down. Senate ready to toss out this flash. Plexios holding a nade, lobs it down, forces one to back away. Flashes are coming in, but Plexios gets hit by one. Full white, still has the ability to go through. The Senate looking for the plant. Really get it down. Reliable takes out Glugnug, and Reliable takes out another. 2 from Reliable, looking for the third, does find it. Tommy gonna get one back onto the Senate, but after Reliable gets a triple kill, this may just close out the round, and it does. Reliable with a 4K. Fantastic work from him. Taking the site on his own. LVC still keeping themselves ahead, even if it's just by 1. They are not allowing PFW to get anywhere near this lead. This has been just a masterclass from LVC. The scoreline doesn't say the same, but they have just been showing why they can continue to be the better team. And PFW trying to go for the exact same hold. And really, a lot of it came down to Passion falling so early there, getting caught out, and even hit with the phone call to make sure his location was still nearby. He's going to swap off his Solus for that exact reason. Passion now with the smoke. Now we see, gonna have to be careful. Passion probably still gonna be playing in a bit of a different spot, and also can just completely cut off anybody. As LVC also changing up their push, they're gonna go for the shield rush. That's gonna be Davies on the blitz. Senate gonna look to gather the info, has the Capital. So he's gonna be able to back these players up and allow Davies to gain more control. Plexios on the knock also gonna have that one-on-one with Passion, but Davies falls! Davies falls so early! Emporium does too! He does at least get one, and trades continue to go through. Just 20, 30 seconds into the round, and it's just been chaos. Reliable also gonna get caught off guard. Frag maybe looking for another player downrange. That's the Senate. He's gonna fall. 1v2 for Plexios. Just been pure pandemonium here. Smoke gonna force the hand of Plexios too. Does at least make it a 1v1. 3 in the round for Plexios. A 1v1, Plexios Passion. Look at that from Plexios, has all the intel. Drone giving him everything he needs to know. Here comes Plexios. All the intel, but Passion with a shot. Knows where Plexios is coming from. Takes the fight, and he's going to give it to PFW. They're going to keep this at a draw. 5-5. That could have been series point for LVC, but now is a 5-5 scoreline and a timeout forced from LVC. 15-7 from Fragged. Doing everything he can for his team in this one. And even Passion also showing out 10-7 to his name. PFW is just has been doing just enough to keep themselves alive here. You can see on this second half, it's just been trading rounds back and forth. If LVC can put 2 straight here, they will take the map and take the series. But if PFW does that, then they will send it to border, map number 3. It's all going to come down to really what happens in this round. The winner of this round kind of controls the fate of the game. LVC have done a great job of just keeping themselves ahead, not allowing PFW to find a lead. But this would be the biggest moment for PFW to find that lead after so many attempts to get there. If they can pull that off, then that will be a massive step for them in attempting to force that map 3. They're going to head all the way back upstairs, and they have been very successful on this site. That's why they're keeping that composition that they have this entire half. PFW just not showing a lot of variety on either map, pretty much. It's basically been the exact same hold every single round, but I mean, for map number 2, at least here on Oregon, that has been working. That has just been the key. The consistency in the performance of Fragged and Passion really being the difference maker between winning and losing in some of these rounds. It's now Passion going to be holding this basement door, but this is the one round player from OEC has decided not to push there. Cherub's just waiting for a walk-in, but he'll certainly get spotted by a drone here soon. Also, the Senate not on 0 once again. He's going to be on Twitch. Plexios trying to work with Emporium. Look at this camera. You can spot the feet of whoever that is laying there. Not sure on who that player is. But that's so much info to LVC. Emporium looking to try and get a nade kill, but that's not going to happen. In fact, it's going to go to PFW. They at least find 1, but the Senate responds with 2. On this window, this game's window, just been massive for the Senate. But he can't take too many more swings. He may get countered. Does he get into an engagement with this player? Just a second. So, you know what else LVC is doing. And that's going to be Emporium getting shot in the back by Passion. Passion with a flank on the double. Huge flank from Passion once again. And the Senate now falls. PFW looking to get their first lead of the game. It's all down to Davies, and he's just in a terrible spot. Cannot find the second. And now PFW have the chance to force map 3 in a series where they looked like they weren't even going to be able to compete. Now have the ability to send it to map number 3. LVC not able to break through, but it's going to come down to this site here. The first floor, just not an ideal place to hold, but they don't have a choice. They have to go here. And this is a very tough spot to be in for the match point. That timeout, just not enough for LVC. And it's just been Passion on these flanks, just causing chaos for LVC. Not to mention Frag at double positive 16 and 8. Making sure his team stays in this one. Chirps also gonna have the Maestro cam, so that could be pivotal in keeping this round towards their direction. And if they can pull it off, they will send this to a map number 3. What is the roam looking like for this team? Is you're gonna see 2 players all the way upstairs. Actually make that 3. As they're gonna look for a top-down hold on this site. Tommy and Churbs, the only 2 on that main floor. First blood really going to be the deciding factor in this round. Is there have been so many good first bloods from PFW, and that is really giving them a lot of opportunities to hold here. It's been where the success came from in these first few in these defensive rounds. Drones spotting out a lot of these players of PFW, but just not many plays being able to be made off of them. Emporium may have to swing this one. As the push for LVC starting upstairs. Emporium drone gonna spot out Passion. And that's a big man to pick up, but fragged again with a first blood, taking down Davies. Emporium at least takes out Passion from Attic, but that is a big loss, as that's the ace too. Plexios getting a trade onto Fragged, and the Senate is only down, so this could be a pickup, and that would be a massive one, as the Senate on the Lion, pivotal from keeping PFW from moving in this round. He also has the diffuser. Reliable just making sure it's clear, but it is all daylight for Reliable to get that res. Senate needs to be very careful. He just stepped on a Legion mine. He may die to it, just barely getting it out in time. And now he's just going to have to call in a scan just to make sure he at least uses one before falling. And he can't really entry much, as he's only at 1 HP. If he steps on another goo mine, he's dead. Upstairs being opened up. Reliable getting hit with a nade. Still able to survive. With 45 seconds left, it's getting a bit sketchy, getting a bit mixy. As Plexios finds one from above, Glugnug down. Now a 2v4. Tommy the Cat and Churbs. Churbs trying to hold off, getting shot from above. All of these players of LVC outside of Plexios down some health, if not basically all of it. In the case of Reliable in the Senate at least getting another call off on that line scan. He's now going to plant the diffuser. That is the plant that they need. Reliable falls, and now it's all down to Tommy the Cat, who's up top. Can he make something happen? Can he clutch this out? 35 seconds left. What is Tommy able to do? And here comes the call. Just delays this push even further. Plexios also still alive. That's the man you want to see in these situations. It's Tommy way around, but the Senate takes his head off, and the Senate somehow making it through that entire round despite getting down and even put down to 1 HP, also grabbing that final kill. We will head to overtime. If LVC can win the next two, they will take this series, or if they can push it to that final round. Winning here is massive. And for PFW, it's going to be back to the dorms. That's what they needed here. That first floor site is just so painful to hold that it's just almost impossible for a lot of teams. Just very awkward and immensely open. Not many good places to sit and take position. So they'll at least be back up to a comfort site all the way up top. But again, just the same setup, and it's been working very well for them. There's really not much to cover on this hold, as it's been the same pretty much the entire set, or the entire half for PFW. Now getting into the round. Passion, they look to find something early. Same with Frag. Those two have really been the main slayers of this team. As you can look at the stats. 17 from Frag, 12 from Passion. Next closest is 6 kills for Glug and Tommy. Davies certainly needing to step it up. It's at 3 and 11. Does have 5 assists at least, so still contributing, just not finding a lot in the kills category. It's been handed off to Emporium and Plexios, and even Reliable in the Senate getting involved too. And look at this first kill. Davies trying to take that fight, and already Davies put to 1 HP. Not ideal. I believe that was Frag taking that fight. Almost finding the first blood. Davies already just having to sit still, essentially. Now Attic starting to be opened up. Plexios going to get some shots down range, but not really much at the moment. And I can't imagine a world this player decides to peek it again. The Senate going up towards Game's window. Has to be careful. There's one on the other side. He's just going to walk away. Plexios still trying to see if there's anything available through these Maverick holes. Right now, the answer is no, but something could open up here soon. As Davies going to get picked off by Frag. Finally, first blood. It's going to go to Frag. LVC trying to fight in this one, but it's just been so tough to take down this Mastodon defense. And look at that. Chirps gets downed, actually. Plexios falls. The flank coming in clutch again for Passion. This man has been on a mission all game. Now 2v4 as Frag takes out Reliable. If it wasn't for Frag in this map, it may just be all over, but they're going to look to put themselves on match point here as the Senate going to fall. Tommy closes it out. As Tommy finds a couple extra love taps into his teammate there after the round. And now map point for PFW. Again, taking a lead. Are they able to make the most of it? LVC, though, at least back on the defense now. Their defense has been very strong, but can PFW continue their momentum? They've just been trying to take over in this second half and have just been a piece or two away from doing just that. And LVC decide the basement is their site. Are they able to get something here? A necessary one if they don't want that map 3. But of course, that's if Frag doesn't have anything else to say about it. About to drop a 20 bomb in this game if he finds one more kill within the next round, or if it goes that far, the next 2 rounds. LVC just continuing to set it up and looking over at this Mastodon push. You're going to see that Grim from Passion once again. Glugnug with the Habana. Fragged with the Iona. Tommy on the Dokebi and Churbs with the Thatcher. What does PFW have left in them? It has been a grind to get to this point. But if you can win here, you can at least get one more chance. And look at Fragged just flying up the map. Knows that this Gunny is pretty much equivalent to anybody, if not better, than the players on this LVC team. Now the phone's being called. LVC players starting to decline those calls. But at least some intel has been gained up top. They know that likely these LVC players are all in sight, and if that's their prediction, then they are right. It's now up top, starting to be covered. Just anyone from LVC have the ability to flank here. That's been a huge point of emphasis for PFW. That's where the kills are coming through, but actually it'll be Fragged again, his 20th. This one onto the Senate. First blood again to PFW. As the hatch above the Senate gets open, Fragged. Who else but him to find the kill? Now we see trying to be careful. They're already down a man. There's still a minute left on this clock. Drone getting taken out by Davies, but he's been having a very tough go of it today. Just one good play, and I could bring his back his confidence. That's going to be the clone. Plexios getting a trade. Glugnug down. Fragged, still out main. Has a nade. Gonna get taken out by a Wamai. Churbs drops. And he's looking to make something happen. As Plexios takes out Tommy, Davies takes out another Reliable, taking out a third. Plexios gets another. The whole team contributing. As the execution gets spotted out. Fantastic work. Last round, and LVC are on the attack. This is a bit sketchy if you are LVC. The attacks have been very missed today. You can see there, it was a 3-3 half, but really, even in those wins, it wasn't looking too clean. And they're going to go down to that basement too. PFW feeling confident here. They know their basement hold has been pretty solid, but I'm a bit surprised they don't go kids here. That really has been where they've won. I think almost all of their defensive rounds have been won up top, so seeing this basement site get picked is a bit of a surprising one to me, but again, they did have a very solid defensive round on this site too. It's just they've lost it more than they've won. So I'm a bit curious as to the play call, but we will have to see what goes down. And LVC now on the attack. The round has started. One more round to decide who comes out of this map victorious. If it's LVC, it is a 2-0. If it's PFW, we see Border. LVC looking to start by clearing out Garage. And you can see as I scroll through these players of PFW, everyone going to be stacked onto the site. They don't want to give up an inch here. They want this to be their map. They fought so hard to get to this position. They need to close it out. They need this round. They need this map. As the Senate, I think, was still all the way out in spawn. A bit surprised by that, and he is. So he's going to have to make up a bit of space here. And he's also Actually, he's not the one with the diffuser. That's reliable. Going to be the one with that. Davies now looking towards these main stairs. He's going to take out the hatch up top. And here comes LVC. They're starting to make a move. Playing off the drones. Thatcher going to knock out the stage hatch. So more openings for LVC. Still a minute 15 to work with too. Plexios needing to recharge that clone. And here comes a nade from Plexios. Will it connect? Will not. He does have another one. He's trying to get a nade down those stairs, but he doesn't get to it. And look at that. That's a down. That's a down onto Plexios. But does the finish come through? It does. Davies, though, on the other end, going to find Tommy. And now it's going to be pure chaos. That player on the stairs, though, needs to be dealt with if LVC want to win this round. And that's going to be a down onto Davies. And that's going to be a finish. Fragged, going to take him out. Now 3v4. And with just 20 seconds left, LVC need to make a move. Reliable, stuck, waiting for the smoke to go down. Emporium just has to drop. As that's a double for Frag. He's been keeping them alive in it, but can PFW win? That's a 2K. Now 1v2 for Emporium. Doesn't have the diffuser. He just has to run. And this is going to be a map 3. Emporium will not get the clutch, and PFW from out of nowhere taking map number 2. And we will see Border. And it's all because of this man on your screen. If it wasn't for Frag, that probably would have been a 7-2. He dropped, I think, 23 in that map. And that is just unbelievable from him. 22-11, 14-11 from Passion. Not to put his performance down either. 15 apiece from Plexios and Emporium. Not enough there for LVC. And we have one more map for you guys as we will see Border. LVC again, though, will be starting off on the attack. Starting off on the defense here. Let me make sure that's correct, and it is. So map 3 will be Border. And that's just one LVC typically would be winning, but it just comes down to that performance from Frag, who just puts, who put 22 on the board. Very rare that you ever see something like that. But we are going to head over to a quick little break as we get ready to set up for the final map of the series, map number 3, Border. Who will come out on top? LVC, PFW. We'll be right back.
cross my heart, hope to die. Just tell me what's on your mind. You say jump, how high? You need love, I'm by your side. I need your love, you're my favorite drug. I'm not giving.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Map number 3, LVC PFW. Who will come out on top? The winner of this map will take the series. LVC can go to 2-0 in the NACE Varsity East 4 conference, or PFW can get one back, as Osa, the ban for LVC there, as is typical, and Ying going to be taken out by PFW. Again, I believe Ying was the ban for them last map too, so something that PFW just really does not want to play against. As now they will take their defending ban. We will see what they go for, and it will be Fenrir. As Fenrir was very pivotal on that last map for PFW. And LVC very quickly with a ban there. It will be the Azami gone. So we have our bans. We have our map. We are ready to get into map number 3, LVC, looking to go to 2-0. PFW looking to get one back after a forfeit loss last week. And LVC starting out on the defense. From what it looks like here, we're going to see them going all the way up to Archives and Armory to kick this one off. You can see the Warden there from Plexios again, just going to look to roam, and he's really going to need to step up that roaming ability, though. We saw Fragged have just a heater of a game, 22-11, as he gave LVC a major run for their money in that one. And LVC going to start getting their setup going. Emporium going to be on the Valkyrie, a very important operator on this, pretty much this entire map. Very, very necessary, especially with how much is really open on this map. So many places to watch, and default cams can only do so much, especially when they're so obvious to spot out. Emporium going to look to just make it that bit more annoying. We're even going to see a glass come out from Passion here. And that's a bit of an interesting one to me, as Passion was just a hyper-aggressive player last map. Going on flanks, going on pinches, and doing everything he could to get in the face of LVC. Now just the exact opposite, but I'm assuming we're going to see that armory plant, or that cabinet plant. As you can see, Glug is going to be on the Monty, and the glass from Passion going to look to get as much info as possible. LVC have tried this plant before, but to very mixed results. So we'll see what PFW is able to do with it. Off the bounce cams. Emporium not able to spot anything. Only thing he's seeing right now is his teammates. Some extra head holes being tossed out, just in case if a C4 needs to make its way through. Now we see have the C4s for this, but Emporium gets shot from below. Fragged again, opening up, picking up where he left off. He's going to have a second right here, as the nade should get the kill. No, Davies doesn't fall. He just gets naded. He's put pretty weak. The second spot from Frag, not going to connect. But he is going to be a menace from down below. Plant goes down, and it does get put into the plant. Glugnug doing his job. He's pretty much just going to be able to hold here. But Plexios already getting some shots down his way. And look at that trip. Just watching the shot on Davies. But Plexios onto the defuse. Can he get it down? Can he get it done? Yes! No, he cannot. Wait, the defuse doesn't come through. 2v2. And somehow PFW come through with it at the last millisecond. I don't know what happened there, but on my end, that looked like a full defuse for Plexios. So I'm not sure what went down there, but it'll be a round for PFW despite the chaos. and this is scary if you're LVC. You can't hold on to win map number 1 or map number 2. You 7-1 in map 1, and now you're down the first round in map 3. This is not what you want to see if you're a fan of Lebanon Valley, as it's starting to get to those scary hours. But of course, we do have a lot of game left. And LVC going to be put in a very tough spot here. They're going to go all the way down. They don't want to deal with that armory plant once again. You're going to see down low. Mostly it will just be the Senate and Davies holding on. The rest of the team will be kind of scattered about. Plexios on the Oryx. Going to look to get some roaming kills. But again, a man that needs to start stepping up here in this game is Davies. He's been having a very rough series. Just not been one at all today. Especially for the captain. Certainly needs to start looking for a better performance here. Already the site window gets opened up. And that's a first blood. Somehow Plexios just gets caught out and he's going to fall. Reliable is at least at the teller window, but how much is he really going to be able to do from this position now that he's known? Somehow PFW have just turned on a switch, and LVC have just turned it, quite honestly, have turned off said switch. It's just been a flip of places for these two teams, and LVC just look completely lost right now. They have no answers for Fragged, who's currently at 3-0. Dropped 22 last map, and this has just been a completely different. The Senate trying to get that C4. Ends up doing, almost killing himself with it. And he's just going to get caught out trying to rotate. That's Glug from up top. The Senate. Not really sure what, I'm assuming he was going for a flank there through those east stairs, but ends up getting caught out. LVC had a lot of very clutch rounds in that second map, despite not being able to pull out the game. They're going to need another one here if they want to keep themselves at least looking like they can compete here against PFW. And it looks like Reliable now. Looking for that pinch. Drop down. Emporium takes out the clone, but now his location is known. Reliable needs to just stay alive here. He needs to play his life as long as he possibly can. But he is just pinched right now. Doing a great job of at least not taking fights he doesn't need to, but Davies spots the head of one, cannot get it down. Emporium gonna fall. Now it's down to Reliable and Davies. 25 seconds left. Makes that all down to Davies. Reliable gets caught on the flank. And it's gonna be a second round for PFW. A flawless at that. And LVC have just collapsed since that start of game one. And that's not very ideal, especially with how winnable it looked at the start of game two. Another timeout from LVC. I say another, but realistically, their last timeout was, or their previous timeout was on map 2, so they only get one timeout per map. 45 seconds each, actually, per the NACE rules. So they're going to take this time to kind of talk over and figure out what is happening, especially since they haven't really been able to get much of anything going in this map. It's just been such a tough game since map 1, and it looked easy for LVC. And I thought that would have came over to map number 2, and now LVC have just looked deflated ever since they took all of what they had on map 1. Here, we're going to see LVC go back up to that second floor. They're going to be taking up the archive site once again. And the strat not really going to switch up for LVC either. And this is going to be really interesting, as I'm assuming it's just going to be that exact same armory push that PFW did in the first round that worked to near perfection. I mean, technically, I think Plexios should have had that defuse, but regardless of whatever ended up happening there, they still should have came out with that round even after the plant. Just descended into madness after a bit. So LVC going to look to come through a different way. Now, heading into the round, PFW looking to make a statement. They don't care what game 1 was. They are here in game 3, and they have the chance to go up to 2-0 or 3-0. Especially after how close game 2 was. It's almost unexpected. But again, Frag just turning into the man, but Plexios hops out and finds 2. That is the man you need making plays. And what a shot from Plexios. Oh my God. This man has found a third by some miracle. And those are the types of plays LVC needs to happen if they want to take this game. I'm not sure what he saw, but it was something, and it was enough for a kill. Glugnug, though, gets one back onto the Senate. Still winnable if you are PFW, but you do have to work for it this time around. Lion Skin comes through. Flash in 2. Glugnug with the diffuser. And Tommy the Cat with the Lion Skin still in hand. Now, diffuser going down. Can LVC stop this plant? They're trying to take out Tommy, and they do. And now it's a 4v1, and that's going to be reliable on the pinch. LVC just going to take that one away from PFW. Plexios with 3 kills to kick off the round. And that is the play you need from that man, Plexios. If he can continue plays like that and keep up with Fragged, this one is going to be a shootout. Now, LVC move back to that first floor. Again to the tellers and bathroom. Looking to put this one at a draw. LVC have just been trying to claw their way back into it. And, I mean, Plexios in that round doing something that's just unbelievable, especially with that third kill. They finally have slowed this down, finally brought life back into it. If that would have ended as a 3-0 for PFW, it may have just been so demoralizing for LVC, especially after how they looked on Clubhouse and how they looked on at the start of Oregon, and even continuing to hold PFW off until the very end, where they managed to bring it back and take the map, get us here to border. And we're going to stick with this man, Plexios. May look for something again. He's done so much to keep this team in it. And it's exactly what you'd expect from a player the likes of Plexios. Of course, the rest of the team still needs to do their job too. Drone spotted. Goo mine hit. Fragged. Relatively going to be known. Plexios just bashing through a wall. Try to get back to one of his teammates. I have a one-on-one here. just a second. He's going to have to be careful jumping into this window. The drone's at least going to give him the information, so Reliable does have to back away, and now that's all of the top control given away. There's just nothing they can do there. Senate going to get some damage onto Passion, but it's not enough for a kill, as the Senate just trying to get some shots down range. They aren't connecting, though. He's going to have to back away towards that other bomb site. Chirps takes a bit of damage there. I'm not sure from what. We're going to see PFW starting to look towards that execute. See if they can just catch anyone off guard before they pop into the site, but this time they'll have a flank watch from Frag. And now he's going to be making his move. This is a guy you don't want to be getting into a 1v1 with. He has been a phenomenal player, and he may just have him right here. Emporium continuing to just poke a different way. This is a crucial one, and that's going to go right to Frag. First blood again. Plexios, though, taking out Chirps, and that is going to be the diffuser. Davies with a great shot on the Glug. That is something that he desperately needed. The Senate, though, does fall. 3v3. Davies, though, still holding strong. That's a double in the round. As he finds a third. Doesn't find the kill, but does get some damage done. Fragged. Tommy need to make a play. 18 seconds left. They're just going to have to start barging through as Reliable takes out Fragged. Now Tommy, just on the opposite side of the map, does not have a thing he can do. And this is pivotal for LVC. Reliable shuts it down. Exactly what LVC needed in this game. And ever since map 1, it has just been a battle between these two. Both sides of this series, ever since map 1, has just been a grind to get any sort of footing. And now LVC have the ability, or the chance, to take the lead here. Their defense starting to bounce back. And now it's going to be the armory. Or sorry, the servers for LVC. Gonna see this pulse get pulled out from Emporium. And Plexios on the Solus. And Plexios gonna be the man to make a play. They're gonna have to lean on the back of him, especially with his positioning. If he can find something early, that may just completely stall this one from PFW. It's going to be on the complete opposite end of the map. So it'll really be unreliable here. It really depends on if he gets spotted. Him and Plexios, though, gonna be in a lot of danger. There's just so much here. And look at the shots not connecting from Plexios. I believe that player just barely around the wall enough to stay alive. So Plexios has to dip. Now what does Reliable have in front of him? Nothing. There's 3 players around him, and he's gonna get blooded again. I believe that was Passion to get the kill. Emporium spots the heart of one. There's just not much to be done right now for LVC. PFW gaining control of the upstairs, and now there's a plethora of players being spotted by Emporium. And look at that. There's a C4 up, and Davies gets one. Also puts Glug down to 1 HP. That is a big C4. And look at the sights from Emporium. Davies taking down another. Plexios tries to go on a flank, but has to back away. But he's just still being a nuisance. The Senate does not connect there. as Plexios finds one before getting traded out with a nade. Still a minute left, though, as Davies takes out Churbs. And finally, Davies heating up 6 and 2. As Glug taking off the head of Davies. And now, Glug having the chance at a 2v1 clutch. LVC give him these ones. There are so many floorboards open. It's a bit of a nuisance for both sides. Emporium and the Senate just have to be very careful what they go for. As Emporium takes his head off. LVC now in the lead, now continuing to roll. And this is where LVC excels, at spiraling in this one. They have taken 3 straight. Can they make it 4? 6 and 3 from both Fragged and Davies, but 5 and 3 from Plexios and Reliable. As we head back to the armory, and we're going to see a smoke from Davies. Not sure what the call was there, but we'll see what goes down. LVC looking to get set up here. This is where it all started on this map, and that armory push was just so pivotal from PFW, but really, they ended up getting countered the next time around, so LVC have adjusted for it pretty quickly. And that's going to drive PFW away from going into that armory push with the Monty. So, going to have a different strat this time around. Curious to see what Plexios does. And he's going to open up a wall, or a door. And he's going to check the cams, too, to make sure these players are exactly where he wants them to be. And doesn't take off the head of Frag, just barely missing. He does also have an impact to work with. But if Plexios' shots were a bit cleaner, he may have been able to get something so quickly. Now this forces checks out of PFW with the drones. They have to take more time off the clock just to make sure they're not going to get caught off guard. He's continuing to just continue the site set up. Emporium put down to half a health point. Is there anything he can find here in this scenario? He is pinched out too. Getting droned out. As Plexios gonna get the information off of Emporium, and somehow Emporium has managed to stay alive here. The Senate gonna catch someone looking for a flank, does do some damage, but takes a lot himself. And another fight here from the Senate, just continuing to ping damage onto these players, but they have to, him and Emporium both have to be very careful. They can't really take many more bullets. Davies now getting tagged up. Reliable though on the cover, taking down Tommy. So LVC still in a big man advantage, but this could flip, this could get taken out at the flip of a coin. Plexios falls and now gets a bit scarier. And look at that, the Senate, that long angle, gonna pay off. LVC just looking at like the smarter players in this one. The cell phone being heard, but Davies, or sorry, Reliable still able to find one player. Davies though gets the credit for the kill. Cross is held. Emporium at 1 HP, finally falls. Passion left in a 1v4, 50 seconds left. Is there anything Passion can spot out? It's gonna be Reliable above him. And you can see pings getting put down. Assume there's a cam around. Davies gonna toss out a smoke, see if some damage can be done. And with just 25 seconds left, this would be a miracle of a play for PFW, for Passion. LVC should be going into this second half with a 4-2 lead, and that is a massive stat, especially after giving up the first two. That's a third for Passion. would need an ace here in this round. Doesn't have the case either. And now there's just not enough time. LVC gonna take the round. And that is great work from LVC to bounce back. That is what they needed. And they are looking good now. They are starting to catch back on fire. They've put 4 straight together. And if they take 3 more, they will take this series. And this has been a very close one. LVC finally getting their groove back. PFW was such a strong defensive team on Oregon. Is that the same case here? They're going to start by going to Armory. I would like to imagine LVC are not going to go for this Monty pushes. We've seen it just not be to the biggest benefit of LVC most of the time. Also, Chirp's going to be popping out on the Mira. Something to be of note later on. You can see the setup getting done. I would imagine Glug and Tommy, will be the ones to roam. Frag, maybe. Frag also still with 1 more ADS. I was going to say 2, but as I was getting ready to say it, Frag put down another. Frag also sitting at 6 and 4. Being cooled down a little bit after the heater. That was the last map and the start of this one. Plexios, I thought, got eyes onto a player there, but maybe not. So he needs to be careful. But of course, he's not going to know until those shots ring out. And that player will drop, so now it's been alleviated. Davies just trying to prevent the walkout. That Claymore. Watching the flank. And Frag gonna pick up first blood. This one unreliable. Been the biggest player on this team. The catalyst. Getting things started. But there have been a lot of man advantages that have been squandered by PFW. But Glug through the wall, gonna take out Emporium. So this is looking like a solid start to the half for PFW. An impending disaster. Davies gets taken out by Glug too. And everyone winning their fights. Plexios, last man alive. 1v5. A minute 45 on the clock too. As it's another flawless from PFW. The rounds that they have been winning have been dominant in a lot of the cases. They have 3 flawless rounds in this game. Or I should say in this series. 2 in this map and 1 on Oregon. I think. If I remember that correctly. That or they've had 1 on each map, something of that nature. But regardless, they've had a few flawless rounds in this series that have really been showing how strong defensively that they are. Now back down to Tellers. PFW looking to put this one back to 4 apiece. As we're going to see the exact same composition. Main difference just coming in who's playing the Mira and who's not. We're also going to see that mute come out for the Warden, or at least in replacement of the Warden. And you're going to see basically every player from PFW just going to be holding from up top. Passion also throwing down a mirror all the way upstairs. So honestly, if LVC can gain control of that second floor, they very well could just take the round from there. But it's really going to come down to what is LVC given. Plexios just looking for an early rotate. Seeing if there's anyone hanging around, but East will be at least decently clear. Now, Plexios finally getting one. Fragged two. That is a huge first blood for Plexios. He's going to take down Fragged, basically his counterpart. And now things have started to open up. Emporium looking to drone. At least gets eyes before his drone gets taken down. Emporium, though, gets dropped to half a health point again. I've seen this happen to him a few times. Davies, though, need to be careful. Looks to not expecting Emporium to break that window there. As Passion takes out Davies with the C4. So things are even once again. Cherbs just hanging out on the A bomb. Just watching over the hatch. Maybe he would have spot one rotating there. Passion's still going to be upstairs holding this rotate over towards white stairs. This is going to be a pivotal player in this round. Passion can find one or two. That would be massive. The Senate takes out Cherbs, though. So Passion trying to spot this player, and Reliable falls. As Passion now LVC needing to take the timeout and get this player out of this floor. And look at that. That's not going to be a win for the Senate. He gets caught trying to look away. And Passion may have just saved the round for PFW. It's down to Plexios and Emporium to take on Glug and the Tommy the Cat. One piece on. Actually, Glug got to be back a bit. Here come the drones. It's going to be Emporium to go for this plant, but if he falls, that's just going to be it for this round, likely. Plexios just watching the rotate. And that's going to be a C4. There goes Emporium, and that should be the round for PFW. And it's going to be just that. A very patient play for PFW, and they take two back on their defensive half. Again, starting the round with 2 round wins back-to-back. But if they allow LVC to go on that run again, that will be series over. So they need to figure out something here. And LVC need to get it back together with a 2-round advantage now gone. And now it'll be a server hold. The last sight before they can go all the way back upstairs into the armory. And again, we're just going to see that very standard op composition of PFW. The only difference is going to be Fragged with the alibi. I really like this pick, too, from Fragged. He's been playing so aggressive that that's basically going to force LVC to take shots at the clones, unless if Fragged is playing downstairs, which is a bit interesting, as he's been the main man on this roster getting early picks, so maybe getting some early intel on where the LVC players are at based on those clones is kind of a missed opportunity here. As is typical, you're going to see those spawn peaks get checked, but this time in this round, there's not really going to be anyone in a position to pop out, except for one player, I think, and Tommy. Actually, it's going to be Glug. Looking for something.
Load him back.
Drones now spotting out Passion. He may have to back away. He may have to drop, but at least has this hatch right in front of him, so he doesn't have to get too quick on it. That's going to be a ping for Glug. He has a C4. That should be a free first blood. And it is just that. Davies gone off the map. Now Plexios making his way up. As he's going to fall, Tommy taking him down, and PFW in prime position to take the lead back. LVC have just looked so incredibly confused on how they want to go about these attacks, and that's going to be another one taken down. The Senate gets a trade, but trades aren't enough here. You need kills. The Senate and Reliable, the senior duo. Is there anything that they can do here? Flash comes in. Reliable. Just trying to walk in, see if there's anything. The diffuser is down, so there's a lot more space that needs to be covered. Tommy the Cat gonna get the flank onto Reliable. The Senate last player left alive, and he's gonna fall too. Gets traded. And that is now the lead for Purdue. They again bring themselves into a lead. And LVC has just been put into such a predicament here. 7-1 map 1. It is hard to believe that that was the scoreline. Now that we're here in map 3, after an 8-7 map 2, and now a 5-4 map 3 in favor of PFW. Tommy trying to get that mirror down. Actually decides to put it on the non-reinforced wall. It's going to be the armory hold once again. And this round may come down to first blood, as that has just been controlled by PFW for such a long time. That's been the big factor in them winning so many rounds. They are finding these early picks, and you can even see everyone, I mean, outside of Churbs, really having big contributions to the kills department. LVC seeing a bit of a down map for Emporium, who's 1-7 right now. That's gonna get spotted out by Emporium, or by Reliable, and somehow ends up taking the head off of Glug instead. And actually didn't even hit any bullets on the Churbs either. Now LVC can start moving, and the Senate watching the pinch, taking out Passion, and now LVC with a big advantage, finally getting something to go their way. They're just trying to fight back, see if they can put themselves ahead again. Reliable. Trying to hold the south side. Let's be careful. The Senate just hanging out towards east. Sure no one pinches, but might need to worry about armory here. I don't think there's any cams on this, so realistically it's not a big deal at all, but it is always possible that this player... Sure, actually, never mind. The innate from Emporium is clinical. It is in perfect position. Look at this, though, from Tommy. Right below someone, but it's a 5v1 now. Can this planter at least be taken down? He can. Davies falls again to a C4. Tommy trying to sprint up, but now left in a 1v4. Is there anything Tommy can really get done as shots go down from Plexios? Puts Tommy down to half. Now going to push into the sights of Reliable, who doesn't get him, but the Senate will. Tommy taking down Plexios, but immediately traded by the Senate there. Heading into round 11, we have a 5-5 draw. And this is just not, this could not be any bit closer. LVC now stopping the pressure from PFW. We have been back and forth for so long now. Who has the better endurance? Who has more endurance than the other? As again, it is Armory. Can LVC stop this one again? You can see the setup being done, and to be quite honest, there's just not a ton to talk about here. I do apologize for being basically silent this entire prep phase. It's been the exact same setup, like 4 rounds, and I don't know Rainbow enough to commentate on, to talk about the same setup 4 times in a row. So we'll just see that standard default from PFW. And look at this. Wait, the Senate somehow already got down. I'm not sure how that happened, but I'd imagine it was just a jump out. Either Passion or fragged, likely. I assume Passion was the one who jumped out there. Passion is on the Solus, and wait, Passion. Oh, there's a barrier there. Passion. Not going to hit this one just yet, but does need to be careful.
Gamma deployed.
There's one on the other side. I'm curious what this play from Passion ends up being. Is he could be in a very advantageous position, or he could be in a very useless position. Realistically, it all kind of depends on the next 20-ish seconds. There's already been a lot of info given based on where all these LVC players are positioned. So he at least has a lot of callouts he can give to his team, but can his team make the plays off of said callouts? Plexios steps on a goo mine, so he's going to have to back away for just a second. Emporium able to get on the flank, but he's not going to hold the trigger, so they'll know of his location. Now he's going to have a couple people trying to collapse on his location. Senate also able to take out the wall, so that's going to open up a bit more space. Passion still down low. We'll see what that location ends up providing for the PFW squad in just a little bit here. Senate. Plexios here need to work together, and Plexios takes advantage of the early peek from Glug. Now spots another. Down, though, 4 and kill, actually, for Churbs. Davies, though, getting a trade back. It has been trades all abound. As now we slow it back down. Both players are both down low. Fragged and Passion. Frag just needs to play off this info. Default spot cannot be planted again, as that would lead to an LVC death once again by C4. There's a C4 coming from. This should be at least one, and it is. Davies again going to a C4. I think that's the 4th time this game. It feels almost like a targeted assault with those C4s. So now we head to a 2v2. An integral round in this game. Reliable, getting some damage onto one, but he can't do anything else. That's a massive one, as Plexios now by himself. Can he do anything? The fuse is coming in. Now it's a 1v1. Passion, though, hops off of it. 15 seconds left. What does Passion go for? As he doesn't stick, he decides to hop off, and he gets the kill into Plexios. Is that enough time? It is not LVC, just by the skin of their teeth in that round, taking it. One that possibly shouldn't have been as close as it was. Now putting LVC to match point, but will we have another OT? Just been the hearts of LVC stopping so often, especially if you're a fan. I can't even imagine having to try and figure out where this one is going to go. Game 3, 6-5. Can LVC deny the OT in his armory for the 3rd straight round? Does PFW clutch it this time? We're going to see that exact same setup. But what are the positions this time for PFW? And again, I apologize for not really speaking in this prep phase, but again, you're just seeing this setup has been done 3 rounds in a row. Literally no changes at all. You can even see Cherubs going for the exact pixel where we put down the ADSs, the exact barriers, the exact walls, the exact rotates. So, I apologize. There's just nothing to talk about. There might be something on this push. Passion just waiting, has the wall prepped. Does he go for it? Might be the most exciting play to start this round, and look at that. Plexio's down. Passion makes the play he wants. Four v 5, just 20 seconds into the round, and already we may see overtime. What does the rest of the LVC squad have in them? Plexios also, I mentioned his KD, a 1.81 overall. Has just been stuttered in this series. PFW have done such a great job of neutralizing Plexios and his effect on the map. Wait. Who was that pushing? I thought I saw someone push through, but looks like not yet. Tommy and Cherubs, though, in very forward positions. With 140 left. LVC still just not sure what to go for in this round. This Passion may just look to pop out of this barrier. He spots the drone, but can't spot the cell phone with that player. And now preps the wall. Passion knows what's up here. Davies trying to hold 2 angles at once. You can just see all of these players just right next to each other, but there's just nothing that either of them can do. Wait, this nade might kill this player, and Emporium does get the trade, and with no damage done. So now it's a pure 4v4. 50 seconds remain. This is winnable for both teams. OT on the line. LVC starting to walk. The Senate, first man up, does spot this player, does take him down. Huge kill for the Senate. Does get out with his life. Takes out the mute jammer too. Davies now just barely staying alive off that push from Passion. But now Passion can't really make a play. Tommy takes down 2. Takes down 2. Tommy going huge. 18 seconds left. And Davies evens it up. It's going to come down to Passion. Frag on the flank. But there's no time left. They have to go for this plant. Fragged on the flank. And now it's OT. PFW putting up a fight when they shouldn't be. LVC looked like they were able to open up all the space in that round, but PFW again somehow collapsing onto the site. It comes off a big play from Passion. Now 6-6. This series starting to go the distance. And map 1 seems so far away from this point. LVC just have not had an answer for the aggression of Passion. And even fragged. Didn't find much in that round, but regardless, Passion now stepping up for this team. And again, 5 rounds in a row, we have seen the same damn sight. And it's just been PFW. The confidence, I'd imagine, off the charts, especially now for Passion. 14-7 from this man. Tommy sitting at 12-7. There's just not much to say. I mean, it's been the same setup 5 times in a row, and I don't know what to say at this point. It is OT, though. We are in overtime. This is where it comes down to the wire, where losses become wins and where wins become losses. Who picks up first blood? You want to be that player that finds something for your team to start off OT. But you don't want to be that first player that gets picked off. As the drones of LVC starting to make their way in. I believe there's someone below. That's Passion. Again, LVC needs to be careful of a flank. Something that's been killing them, a thorn in their side. We'll check in with Passion later on. And now LVC with as much as they can do, really, with these drones, especially with the mute jammers in the site. LVC going to look to start making their way in. Nice charge from Davies. Finally able to really use him as past few rounds. He's been dying before he even gets one out. And Emporium with a huge nade kill onto Churbs. First blood to LVC. But does it result in a trade? It's going to come down to Passion. Can he walk around the Claymore? He does. His Claymore was misplaced. Look at Passion. Passion finds 2! Make that almost a third. It's at least a 3v3, but Passion just barely making his way around the Claymore. And that's something that cannot be happening in a situation like this. That needs to be perfect placement, and it's just simply not. And again, the round coming to a screeching halt. There's still a player just tucked in this corner. Glug. That 1v1 may be huge on the site. Fragged and Tommy ready to back him up, though. 20 seconds left. LVC again not giving themselves much time to work with. Emporium pops in. Davies, though, taking out Frag. That's a big kill right there. Is there anyone there to push out? Glug with the Nitro, not going to connect. And now Tommy falls as well. Glug in a 1v3. Almost finds a second, but not quite. LVC taking round 1 in OT. 1 round away from keeping this as a choke. Keeping this away from a choke. Round 14. The second round 14 in a row. Overtime match point. LVC can close it out here. But PFW can put it to that very last round of the series. LVC at least back on the defense. And they're going to go to, you could have guessed it, we're back to Armory. Pretty sure it's 6 rounds in a row in the same site. But it's been so many different ways of these rounds concluding. If you haven't been here all series, you've certainly missed a hell of a lot. 7-1 map 1 on Clubhouse in favor of LVC. Map number 2 on Oregon. LVC can't hold on. They fall 7-6. And now, map 3, LVC with a chance to shut down the comeback. Right here, right now, PFW with the opportunity to take it the very furthest distance that they can. Is your Armory setup good enough for LVC? We're going to have to find out. We're into the action phase. Must find your positions now. As here comes PFW. And look at this. They're bringing they're almost a mirror comp to LVC. Only difference you're going to see here is that Thatcher not in the hands of anybody. In fact, it'll be a Dekebi pick up the slack. Passion, 16 and 8 in this map, has been the man of the hour, but Emporium takes him down just 20 seconds in. And Emporium coming from out of nowhere for first blood. And that is a huge pick. Passion has been the leader of this PFW squad. Emporium at least getting a trade out. The man of map too, fragged. Gonna get that one back, and now, again, a pure 4v4. Churbs, though, at half a health point. Davies can see through the X-ray. Finds the head of Tommy, and he backs away. Takes a different angle. Is this LVC's moment? Do they take this one away? Do they shut down the comeback from PFW? As the rotate having to come through. Is there anyone from PFW that can step up when they need it most? Gonna see the drone come in from frag. Spot 2 players, and that's huge. Those are big spots. Now, has to be careful. Your LVC. And look at that. There goes Glug, the head of him out. Frag, though, taking down Plexios. Big picks, 2v3. There is still an opportunity. Fragged, the one you want alive in this situation. You'd prefer it to be Passions, probably, but you'll take Frag, too. The man has been a menace. Churbs with the call. Is there anything that this team can benefit off, that PFW can benefit off? Nade, not going to do enough. Doesn't connect. 2v3. And can Churbs spot that player? I'm assuming not. Of course, significantly easier to see this off of X-ray. That camera can't be destroyed. So they're going to have a constant cam on someone. Until now, fragged. Finally taking that down, but there's just 15 seconds left. And they have to walk at this. They have to walk at this, but Frag gets the kill. 2v2, the Senate with a C4. Is this clutch enough? No kills off of it. C4 from Davies, now 1v2. Somehow, they've pulled this round from the jaws of defeat. Davies, 2v1, makes it a 1v1. This is for the map. Churbs gets spotted. Churbs, 2 and 10. Has not been great this series, but can show his worth here. And Churbs going to get the kill. We will head to one more round. Churbs, the stat line doesn't show it all. 3 and 10, but coming in clutch when they need him. Round 15, overtime match point. LVC back on the attack. And this has been their detriment. You can see the scoreboard. LVC have only taken 3 rounds on attack. They took 4 on defense. And for one final time, we will head back to Armory. And I am just purely out of ideas at this point. Again, mirror comp. Passion probably going to spawn peek as normal. We'll see where it comes from this time. And that's about all I got for you. Tries to take out the drone of Davies, but not quite. Just going to continue to follow these, see if any early drone picks, just take as much info off of this team as possible. But realistically, it's going to need more than just taking out a few drones if you want to win this game. PFW have fought tooth and nail for this one. To see it all squander away would just be crushing to this team. This one gets spotted. They're spotted, but Passion not able to get the angle on him. Nice push from LVC. Again, Emporium sitting at 5-11. Struggling to get much going in this round. I will say every KD goes out of the window. All that matters is that you bring home some blood for your team. Nade from Reliable. Not going to do anything other than open up a floorboard.
Reaching with Selma.
Senate just picking up any flank where he can. There's going to be Plug. Again, on the other side of this mirror. And that's going to get taken down, so he's going to have to drop. Check in with him in a little while. Emporium throwing out his clone. Not spotting much of anything, but of course, that's going to be the chirps in the typical spot there on the fountain. How does LVC handle it this time around? Ahead of one getting spotted. Emporium taking out chirps, though. That's the fountain player gone, but there is another one picking up his place. So it's not all clear just yet. Definitely not all quiet on the Western Front, I'll give you that much. A minute left. A minute of chaos. As Davies takes down Fragged. That's going to be another massive pick and armory. But this man is still on your screen. Tommy, though, falling to Reliable. Now, LVC, can they collapse? Can they close this out? What is Passion able to do? What is Glug able to do in this situation? It all comes down to this, and Passion falls. 1v5. Glug gonna need a 1v5 and an ace. As Passion putting GG's in the chat before, not even allowing his teammate the chance to clutch, and LVC flawless to end the series. A fantastic win for LVC. Very, very close, but they will bring it home. 2-1 over Purdue Fort Wayne, and that was a battle on both sides. 15-10 from Davies, 12-12 from Plexios. On the other side, 16-10 from Passion, 13-10 from Frag. Just a grind for these two, and that may have been the closest series I've ever casted for this team. But that was a massive, massive victory for LVC as they head to 2-0 on the season. And that is 0-2 for Purdue Fort Wayne. But that is going to do it for us tonight. And also, just a quick update on Overwatch. They ended up falling 3-1 there. And that closes out our week, as LVC Rainbow Six take a very hard-fought victory to close out the night. That will do it for us here. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at LVC_esports on both those platforms to get updated on all of our matches. And if you're not already following us here on Twitch, go do that down below. Get the notifications on. You can see when we go live for every single series. And speaking of series, that will be it for us for pretty much the whole week, as we have fall break coming up, and NACE and NECC both recognizing fall break as well. The next set of matches will be LVC Rainbow Six taking on Southern Miss, as those are very familiar players to a lot of our team, as we are very good friends with those guys over there. So that is certainly going to be a great series to watch. That'll be over on the Southern Miss stream, but of course follow us on the socials and down here to see when we go live and see where that is being streamed at, as Overwatch will be taking on Robert Morris at 8:45 on October 12th. That will be our next night of matches. We will be streaming that match here on twitch.tv/11ValleyCollege. Thank you all for tuning in. But that will do it for us tonight. We will catch you guys back here on October 12th, a full week from today, for the next set of matches. We'll see you then.